Hey guys, Andy here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you another 3D printing style video. As you guys know, I try and include at least one 3D printing video on my channel every single week. The reason for this is I believe 3D printing will just become more and more prevalent in our hobby as time goes on, and I want to stay ahead of the curve. I love 3D printing. I think I'm currently on 11 3D printers, so it's definitely a big part of my hobby, and I hope a lot of people will take it up over the course of the next kind of couple of years and learn the awesomeness that is 3D printing and what you can do with it. So a new sponsor has reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to showcase some of their awesome miniatures. This is no small company. You guys will mostly recognize the name, which is of course Anvil Industries. They have sponsored today's video. In fact, they've actually sponsored a video for next month, which is something to do with their new Kickstarter. I'm not at liberty to discuss what that is just yet, but there's something awesome in next month as well, which I'm very, very excited for. But unfortunately, that was delayed by a week or two. So they asked me would I like to make a video on this month's Patreon stuff, which is all based around kind of post-apocalyptic survivors. And I said, of course, why not? Let me try out your stuff and see what we're doing. So they are the sponsor of today's video. I will talk about them a little bit more as the video goes on and let you guys know what I think of their product, their models, and stuff like that. Before I get into this video though, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my active patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. You allow me to keep doing what I'm doing, which is creating awesome content for you guys revolved around the hobby. If you were interested in getting involved with that, there are links to my Patreon below. You get things like access to a private Discord server and an extra video every single week. So 52 extra videos a year just for you, I think is pretty cool. Okay, with all of that out of the way, it is now time for me to start having a look at these awesome post-apocalyptic soldiers. Okay, this is the squad of models that I printed off from Anvil Industries using their custom supports, or their pre-supports, should I say. These are some of the best supported miniatures that I have ever printed. Even if you see at the back there, that like funky curved one that goes around the back, it's so good. While I was using hot water to remove the supports, I did notice it was a little bit difficult for them to come off, and I was kind of trying to figure out why. And then I realized that there is one support on each piece that's extra thick, and that's basically an anchor point for the build plate. So it stops the actual miniature part or the component part from separating from the raft and the supports during printing, which is the biggest form of failure that I always have. The supports always stay in the raft, always stays on the build plate, but sometimes the pieces can detach from it because of such fine supports. So for instance, on the model where it's the entire body, it's underneath one of the foots. There's a nice big kind of chunky support to hold them down. Absolutely fantastic. So I have a lot of confidence with these guys printing out perfectly, and they frankly did. The detail on them was super crisp, super beautiful. The only thing that I did notice, which I thought was a little bit bizarre, was that there seemed to be a slight lack of components for these guys. So for instance, this is a post-apocalyptic, like kind of survivors, but they feel more like a kind of like a little special forces squad to me. I kind of was like going back and forth, like, why can't they all have this same rifle with the scope and like all of them? You think they would, like, in a post-apocalyptic situation, they would have kind of different equipment or different guns. I did get to build this really cool guy. So I did a little bit of research on them, checked out Anvil Industries, and found out kind of why they have such few parts with each set of miniatures. And it's because, and it's a very cool reason, that all of the bundles they do each and every month are interchangeable. So if you've been subscribed to these guys for 6 months to a year, that kind of thing, you're just going to have this beautiful backlog of components, heads, legs, bodies, arms, weapons and equipment and accessories that are all multi-changeable, or interchangeable, should I say, with all the other parts. So for instance, with these guys here, I wasn't a huge fan of the riot helmets. But now I know that I can just go away and print off some other heads and stick them on them, someone that suit my aesthetic a little bit more. And I guess that's what plays into the idea of the miniature agnostic style of gaming that we're starting to see more and more and more in our hobby. And it's a very cool concept, the concept being that the games give you the idea of what you need to play with, and then you go away and create the miniatures that suit that for you. So it's kind of like that idea of, if you read a book, what does the character look like in your head? And then your friend reads a book and what the character looks like in his head are two very different things. So instead of being forced or boxed into a specific type of miniature or a specific aesthetic of miniature, you get to go away, search the internet for cool files, find the ones that suit you, print those off and use them in the game. And I am definitely excited by the concept of this moving forward. And I think Anvil Industries is definitely hitting the nail on the head with this style, because each and every month they give you a whole new set of pieces which create all these custom guys. And because of the interchangeability between all the parts, it's almost infinite as to what you can do. Like I said, there is a bundle that I will be working on next month, part of a new Kickstarter that they're doing that I will not talk about yet. It will be in my next Anvil Industries video. We've signed up to be kind of partners, so I should be giving you a video on these guys once a month for the foreseeable future. So I'm very much excited to be showing you off their Kickstarter. And there's some parts in there which, as soon as I saw them, I got very excited, and I have plans to make a very specific miniature. I just need to now try and hunt a suitable head. So maybe I can talk to them and see if there's anything in their backlog that will suit. So what can I say about these guys? With the kind of nature of these interchangeable characters and the miniature agnostic style games, it means that you can do scenarios week to week with your friends. Plan out a different scenario, almost like an RPG session. Print out these awesome models that suit, whether they be NPCs or whether they be the bad guys or whether they be good guys, the players, or whatever you want to do. And using my style of just kind of a grey Seer undercoat and then throw some contrast on them, you can get them looking to a fairly decent standard without putting in a huge amount of work, which means that week to week you can have new characters and stuff, build up your collection of miniatures, and have the sessions be more and more interesting each and every week, which I think is really cool. I'm actually currently planning in my head what my Halloween battle report is going to be. And basically I'm going to be writing a specific game set. My friends are going to come over. They're not going to know anything about it. I'm just going to give them command of a character each, and then it's going to be an interesting scenario for them to play through. And with systems like the Anvil Industries, I get to just go on a kind of a crazy journey of kind of planning out all the different interactions that you can have, getting the miniatures ready for that, and just, oh, they decided to go down this way. Okay, that means they're going to run into these guys. Okay, now I need to find models that represent those guys, and it's all very exciting. And this is the kind of thing where I was talking about, where 3D printing is just going to become more and more prevalent as time goes on. I have this plan for a game system in the future, or a battle report in the future, where the video starts with 3 or 4 people sitting around a room, lashing rain outside. Everyone's saying, hey, do you want to go and do a new game system? Sure, let's go start a game. Let's go get a new board game or something. Open the door, funny cinematic bit, loads of rain. Oh, we can't go anywhere. And it's like, well, why do we need to go anywhere? Go online, find some cool models, print them off and paint them. Find a cool rule set, print them off, print off some terrain, set up a board, and play. You literally create an entire game from nothing while you're in your house. I find that to be absolutely insane. I've been in this hobby for 25 years now, and I tell you, there was nothing like this back in the day. It's just crazy. It's like the wave of the future. So I have already gotten all of the base coats on these 4 post-apocalyptic survivors, or soldiers, if you will. I'm just going to throw a null oil shade all over them, darken them down a little bit, and then I'm going to base the miniatures up. Obviously, you can base them in whatever kind of aesthetic suits you and your game system, whatever you want to play. And then from here, you can, of course, just leave them. Like I said, if you need to make miniatures or sets of models for every situation you need week to week, you might just be happy to leave him like this, like I would. I think he looks absolutely fantastic. He perfectly represents what I want him to on tabletop. Very distinct in what he's armed with, what he's equipped with, and what side he's on. I'm going to take one of the models that I printed and got to this stage, and I'm going to layer him up a little bit, adding a little bit more detail to him, just to show you guys what it can look like if you put a little bit more effort in. I have signed up to quite a few Patreons now where I get files month to month, and I really do like that style, where each month you're going to get any, like Station Forge, and they're beautiful and brilliant one. I love it. Loot Studio is absolutely incredible. There's so many out there now that it can seem kind of difficult to pick and choose which ones you want to be involved in. And one of the things that I always generate towards is the quality of the miniatures. And I've had this discussion with my friends and stuff a few times. The idea that there's so many people out there creating digital files. And I think if you really pay attention to it, there's a very distinct difference between somebody who is just kind of good with that program and can make fairly decent miniatures, to someone that went to school or college, learned digital design, and knows how to use those programs to their fullest extent to give you beautiful miniatures. Do you know what I mean? So by that I mean some people can give you beautiful models, and they are great representations of that, but they don't have the same kind of feeling, the same emotion, the same kind of movement in the models that you get with someone that really knows what they're doing. And those examples like the Station Forge, the Loot Studios, and now Anvil Industries are definitely some of those up there that have beyond stunning design and aesthetic and movement. You know, the kind of models where while you're halfway through, your brain is already creating scenarios where you think they would be suited to, where they would fit in, what their character names are going to be, why they're carrying that piece of equipment. And that's just something I love. I think I will always go with the quality of miniatures. I'd rather get 10 perfect miniatures every month than 150 kind of okay miniatures from another company. When it comes to 3D files, I don't quite think quantity is everything. But maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think? I'd love to know your thoughts on these kinds of things. What is your favorite miniature agnostic games? Is there any out there that you can recommend me trying? The only ones I really know are things like one-page rules and the few that Uncle Adam and Vincey V have done that I really do need to check out because I think they would be fantastic to play around with. Yeah, what do you guys think? What are your favorite ones out there? What sets from Anvil Industries do you think that I should try and get the backlogs for? What's your favorite prints from them? And do you think I'm right? Do you feel those kind of differences between kind of okay 3D prints? They're not bad, they're nice, to ones where you're like, God, Games Workshop could have made these. Like, that's the kind of quality we're talking about. These are 3D sculptors that are making these miniatures or making these designs. I definitely had a lot of fun with this particular guy with his dual silenced pistols. He's my breakout character from this set. Obviously the one I chose to add all the detail to. I absolutely loved them. The other three guys got fully based, a little bits of toast, but I didn't layer them up. Like I said, they're not as nice as the dual wielding pistol guy, but they're definitely possible for what I need to play in a war game or a miniature skirmish game or whatever kind of game I decide they belong in. I'm very excited for the continued support of Anvil Industries and see what other awesome miniatures I'm going to get my grubby mitts on in the near future. I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant. I hope you're all going to become Anvil Industries fans and check them out with all the links below. And you're going to enjoy all the future projects I do for them. I think it's a pretty cool squad I ended up with in the end. Okay guys, what can I say? I have painted up 4 beautiful post-apocalyptic soldiers. They are amazing. I did finish one of them off to 100% completion with some layering and some extra detail. But even before I did any of that extra stuff, I thought the squad looked absolutely perfect for that miniature agnostic style that we've been talking about the whole way through the video. Still can't get over the interchangeability between all of these things. Now I wish I had the entire arsenal of Anvil Industries files at my disposal to see what kind of cool miniatures I can make. There's a very, very, very cool miniature I plan on producing with the secret bundle from next month that I think is going to be very cool. As soon as I saw a particular piece, I was like, oh, that looks like, oh, okay, I gotta do that. So I guess you guys have to wait and see what that is, but it's pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give the video a like. Make sure you check out Anvil Industries below in the description. Ask me any questions you want in the comments below. And yeah, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Make sure you subscribe. See you in the next video.